It- Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to you all and all our guest speakers today. On behalf of Hello Kids, personally, I welcome Dr. Kiran Kumar, pediatrician, and Mr. Prashant Reddy, Chief ENT, and Mr. Ramakant Nargund from Task Force for today's webinar on COVID in kids. Friends, let's all stay safe. COVID is still not over. Take vaccine. And now let's understand COVID in kids from our guest doctor today. So over to you, Mr. Ramakant, sir.
Yeah. Pallavi, you want to talk few words? Pallavi? Pallavi, you want to talk few words?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. It is
Please.
a great pleasure
Yeah.
to be all to be presenting to be a part of this event. It would be great help for our teachers and for our students and parents that we can give them moral boost, and also help them to overcome all this situation. Thank you.
So
Thank
over
you.
to you, Ramakant, sir.
I am
You can take it over.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everybody. I am Ramakant Nargund from Community Task Force. The Community Task Force is an organization who cares for the people. This particular activity started in HSR layout about in the month of December. We started with 4 people. Now thousands of people are following because our approach is to helping people. That is the main concept. And caring for each other is another second concept. This particular webinar series have been taken up because of the COVID situation. We have started with the different specialities under the leadership of Dr. Prashant, and he is helping us to get different specialized doctors from different hospitals to make aware more to the among the public. The running main problem, as you come to know, that COVID in kids is the most important aspect. People are worried because of third wave. Lot of WhatsApp university is sending lot of messages to the public and so on and so forth. Anyway, we are very proud to have Dr. Kiran sir to clarify to all our audience. I'm sure he will definitely clarify more matters on the connection. Once the Dr. Kiran starts talking, after the completion of that, you people can put your first Q&A queries and we'll answer all the queries. And according to Swati Madam also take further steps. And before handing over to this, I thank Swati Madam, Hello Kids Agarwal Saheb for organizing this thing, as well as Pallavi Madam taking a part of the activity for this particular activity from Nargund International School. Before going to start, give it to the Dr. Kiran sir, I want to introduce the today's dignitaries. Dr. Kiran T.Y., he has done his graduation and post-graduation from Mysore Medical College, one of the prestigious medical college, and he had an experience is one of the prestigious institution, CMC Velu, for a few years. After completing the few years of experience, he went to Indira Gandhi Institute of Child and Health for his fellowship in pediatric intensive care. And at present, he is working in a BGS hospital as a consultant pediatrician. In his going to these things, I like a few words that uh, he practices child and family centric holistic care. This because he is not only concerned about children, he is concerned about the parents of the children. That is the most important thing, as we know very well about that. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯ, ಮಕ್ಕಳದಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಮಕ್ಕಳದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, now it is, these are the future of the nation. What I am to tell is, we have to care a lot. Entire nation is the hands of our this generation. In this connection, pediatrician has got a very major role in taking care of entire country and guiding them how to take care of this particular COVID situation, what are the precautions has to be taken. We are sure, and my parents, I request all everybody participants to open your mind, ask your queries, ask your queries. Nothing will happen. I will tell you that. Whatever medical communities will come out of this problem, already the percentage of COVID cases are coming down, even though precautions are the most important aspects. We will go according to the guidance of the doctor. With all this few introduction, and our moderator is our captain, Dr. Prashant Reddy. Dr. Prashant Reddy is an ENT specialist. He did MBBS and MS from Bangalore Medical College. He has specialized in endoscopic and sinus and skull-based surgery. And apart from this, very special qualification, what he has done is MBA from Indian Institute of Management. The well-versed type of qualification, my captain, my doctor. I'm very happy to say that Dr. Prashant Reddy. He is at present a consultant in a BGS hospital, Sagar Hospital. He has become very, very busy in particularly looking into the black fungus, every operation also. And he told he is conducting some operation. In between, he will come and he will moderate the proceeding. I welcome Dr. Prashant Reddy and I welcome Dr. Kiran sir. Please take, I'll hand over to Dr. Kiran sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to greet all of you on behalf of the medical fraternity and also on behalf of BGS Gleneagles Global Hospital family. So it's a very nice thing to be here on this afternoon. We are at the midst of this pandemic, wherein it has made all our lives very terrified. But there is hope and things are settling down. And we look forward to conquer this pandemic and come out with a very progressively we will have systems to manage the further pandemics in futures also. So I welcome you all for this interactive session. And thank you, Ramakant sir, for having me on this afternoon. Thank you.
Dr. Prashant sir? Dr. Prashant is there? If Prashant is not there, sir, you can start talking your this thing regarding COVID in children.
See, what is this corona, the pandemic which has happened? So corona has been a virus. It has been there since many years, probably from the beginning of even before the beginning of the mankind, probably. But it has remained very subtle virus without not much causing much health problems all the while. But whereas because of certain mutations in the current virus, it has become a pandemic. Okay, so basically it's a RNA virus which has mutated and has become virulent to cause the current pandemic. Okay, as all of us are aware, it mainly spreads by droplets. So droplets means whenever we cough or whenever we sneeze, there will be a micro particles of saliva which gets ejaculated from our mouth. So that we call as the droplets. And also the fomites, the salivary secretions which are formed over the surfaces of the cloth or on the surfaces of any objects, that can also be a part of a conductive, wherein it can spread through those agents. And also there are evidences or the talks wherein it's been said that it is also going to spread through airborne modality, but as of now it is not very concretely proved. So whenever a person comes in contact with these infective particles, it is taken up by the airways, that is our nose and the throat. So there the virus gets attached to our system through the spikes of the virus and gets into our system, wherein it gets replicated there and because it spreads to the blood and then to different organs of the body. So before the onset per se, the symptoms, what we call there will be a period of incubation period. So in case of this corona, there will be, even after you get exposed to it, there will be a time frame of about 5 to 7 days till you get any symptoms. Okay, so let us see what are all the symptoms that we in general come across with the COVID infections. Once we get infected and there is a multiplication of this virus particle in our system, our body tries to fight against the virus. So that creates a response of fever, and also it, as it spreads through the body, it can also cause body ache, headache, and sometimes even after spreading into the gastrointestinal system, it can also cause some kind of a vomiting, diarrhea, all these symptoms at the beginning. So these symptoms usually last for a week or so. So after that, usually what happens, the effect of the virus comes down as the immune system starts producing the antibodies against the virus. So what we have seen so far in children is, even though the children, they are infected, not many children, they will have symptoms. So in, say, if 100 adults get infected, about 60 to 70% of them will not have any symptoms. They will never know that they had any infection by COVID. This percentage is much more higher in children. So we can say that almost about 80% of the children, they will not have any symptoms. So only about 20% of the children will have the problems of symptoms caused by due to cough, fever, body ache, headache. So out of these 20 to 25% of the children, only about 5 to 10% will require any hospital admissions, and out of that, very small percentage, say about 2 to 3%, may require admission to ICU. And in fact, in the adult population, this requirement of hospitalization is it's about 10 to 15%, but whereas in children it is about 5 to 10% only. And when it comes to mortality, it is much more less in children because of less severe disease what we see in children. So if at all, as per the current data available, in children the death rate is very, very less. It is less than 0.05%. So what I would like to impress upon you over here is, there is nothing much to worry about the COVID infection and its effects in children. So just be informed about the symptoms that you will have to look after, and also just, if at all, you just go on monitoring the child on everyday basis, we can almost prevent any severe diseases in children. Okay, so at this stage, if there is any questions or any clarifications.
Ramakant sir, there is a question here.
Sir, there is a question, sir. My daughter, you can, please, sir. Jairam Dharmendran has.
Okay. So here is a parent who is asking about her daughter who has been diagnosed to have DKA. Okay. See what has happened in this pandemic. So we have seen there has been a surge in number of children who are getting or becoming diabetics. Okay. So what happens? This is mainly because of a kind of allergic reaction, or what we call it as a auto antibody production towards our own system. Okay, wherein that affects the islet cells, the of the pancreas, the organ where the insulin is produced. Okay, that's why there are a few percentage of children. This is one of the secondary complications what we are seeing in children as which they manifest as even in pancreatitis or diabetes situations. Okay, so madam, as you have told, okay, see, certainly if the child has been diagnosed with DKA, that is diabetic ketoacidosis, it's a severe form of diabetes. Okay, the child will require insulin for a lifetime as of means from now onwards. Okay, so but it is manageable, and be happy that there is treatment. Without, if it is taken care well, the complications of the diabetes can be prevented even in children. So there is nothing much to worry. So these are one of the secondary complications what we are seeing in a very, very rare situations.
Sir, there is another question over here.
What parents can do for our children? Because due to
Yes,
lockdown,
sir.
children cannot go outside for play. Sorry, I missed that
Huh.
question.
1 second. Yeah. Mm. They
Okay.
cannot go out for play. Here
Yes.
it is.
Yes. See, the thing is, the current lockdown has been imposed with a good intention. Okay. So, but children do need time outside. Okay. So please kindly, if at all it is possible, wherever it is possible, you kindly make it a, like, they can be in the premises of the house itself. Okay. Or you can have indoor gyms, or like indoor games can be other options for them to engage with. So since there is a raise in the, since there was a raise in the number of COVID cases, the lockdown has been imposed to curtail it. So kindly we will have to go by the law and the impositions on us, and if wherever it is possible, in a better way how we can engage our children in our house premises, we will have to look for those options.
So another question
Any more?
is here: if they go out, will it cause any issue? If the children physically go out, will it cause any issue going further?
See, the risk of infection, it is all there for all of us, whether it is children or adults. The risk of infection is now currently it is there everywhere. See, because previously in what happened at the beginning, it was just in pockets, the infection. So whereas now currently it is already very deep in our community, so nobody is spared. Okay, so I like, even if you stay home, okay, if not today, sometime down the line, we are all going to be exposed to the infection. So let us not be under the impression that being at home will be able to avoid this infection. That's not true. Okay. So only thing is the idea of imposing all this lockdown and asking to follow the mask practice, the hand hygiene practices, and also maintaining social distance practices are mainly to reduce the number in a given point of time. So all of us, we are aware, because there was a surge in numbers, we had difficulty in managing those cases because the health system was not adequately, it was not enough as such, though there was preparations made. When there is so much of large number of patients coming in or getting infected in a given point of time, it becomes a burden on our health system also, though we are prepared to take care of it. The large numbers will not be able to cater to. So let us understand, by practicing the safety measures, we can postpone the infection, and there is no way wherein we can altogether prevent infection. And since there is a drive of vaccination going on in adults, till we get a vaccination in kids, so we are always, all the kids are at the risk of infection at any point of time.
Okay. Sir, do you suggest any immunity booster?
Yeah, see, there is no particular immunity booster I would like to recommend as such. The best immune methods are taking proper rest, having good food, having positive thoughts. This will take a long way in boosting our immunity. So, apart from regular nutrition, there is no specific or anything else in particular to boost the immunity for this COVID infection.
There is another question over here. What kind of a food do you suggest?
See, whatever nutritious, whatever you are regularly having, you can have. Okay, please include, means, more of fruits and vegetables and lot of liquids in your daily routine. So apart from that, there is nothing much we would like to see. Though there have been like multivitamins, zinc, and vitamin C, which has been recommended in these to during these infections, they have proved not really helping as such. So what I would suggest you is, please go ahead with the regular nutritional practices and maintain good hydration during this season.
Okay. So, is flu vaccine important to these kids?
Yeah, it's
Flu
it's a very
vaccine.
good question. Very, very, very good question. See, we are just in sometime down the line, in next 2-3 months. So there will be a surge of flu. Okay. So the difficulty will be like, if the children get affected both with the COVID infection and also flu, the situation will be very difficult to manage. So what we would suggest you is, please go ahead and get the child vaccinated for the flu. So that will prevent the secondary infections. If there is co-infection by both the flu and the COVID, then it will be difficult to manage. So that's why it is better you get immunized for the flu, and we can, if you are immunized for flu, it will be easy to manage even if you get COVID in those situations. And it doesn't mean if you take flu vaccines, it is going to prevent you from getting COVID infection. It is not like that. Okay. If you the idea of prescribing the flu shots during this season is mainly to prevent both the infections happening in a child at a time.
Okay. So, does Zincovit helps?
So there is no specific evidence saying that the Zincovit or multivitamins help, but in general, the the minerals and the vitamins are required for our body. So for that reason, you can go ahead and take it. There is nothing wrong in taking those things. But don't be under the impression that taking them will prevent us from COVID infection.
COVID infections. Okay. So, what about the third wave of corona? Does it have major impact on kids? Even after taking vaccination, many people are impacted.
See, currently in second wave, what we are seeing, it is more in the adult population. And in the first wave, we saw more of the aged group of population being affected by this corona. So now, the left out, the population will be the children. Probably that is what we are anticipating to happen. But I'm really skeptical about this notion, because see, in the first wave, about 4% of the children were affected. This has been verified by zero surveillance. And in currently the second wave, there are about 10 to 15% of the children are affected. But whereas in zero surveillances, they say that about 25% of the children are already affected. That means to say they have been infected and they have the antibodies. Okay. And out of this, majority of them, they never knew that they were really infected. Okay. So why is it so much of talk that the next wave it is going to be severe in children, is because now we have planned to vaccinate a large population of our country with the available vaccination. So there are also trials which are being conducted even for children's less than 18 years. Okay. So for us to have a good herd immunity, that is a kind of immunity where it prevents spread of infection in the community at a larger pace, we need to have about 60% of the population to be vaccinated. Okay. So we are already vaccinated about 22 crores of population currently in India. Okay. So we are still, if we are going to vaccinate about, say about 50 to 60 crores people, so then we will be towards almost having a adequate herd immunity. So that will prevent the spread of infection to the kids also. Along with that, what happens, what we have seen in terms of the current scenario, wherein what we have seen, there are many children who are not, though they are infected, they have not had much symptoms. And also the system of the children, it is, they do not have the much receptors for the virus to get into their bodies. Okay. And as we know, every household currently has a person, at least a single person who is infected with corona. Even then, not much number of pediatric population is as such, it is not affected. So it is better to be prepared for the third wave, anticipating that it is going to affect children. But my take on that one is, it may not be really affecting the children as we are expecting. If at all we prepare ourselves well, it should not be a problem in children.
Okay. Prashant sir, are you there? Okay. Sir, are there any specific symptoms to look out for in children if they are infected with COVID?
Sorry.
And what are there any specific symptoms to look out for in children? If any, then
Yeah.
how
See,
to,
yeah, I'll talk about that. See, as I told, elaborated, it is not it's a very mild illness in children as of now. Okay. The only thing which we'll have to look after. So once the child has been diagnosed to have the COVID infection, make sure that the child is isolated along with the parents or the caretaker in the home. Okay. So maintain good hydration and also maintain good nutrition during this time. And if there is any for fever, the simple paracetamol will suffice, and that should be enough for handling any high grade fever in children. So only the children which need to be monitored closely is the children which those who have any cardiac illnesses, those who are having any heart diseases or lung diseases or diabetes, or children with any kidney diseases. So they are the ones which will need close monitoring in the hospitals. Otherwise, all other children can be monitored and taken care at home only. And what are all the things that we need to monitor in children? Apart from the fever, you just monitor the child if there is any unusual fast breathing. If the child develops any fast breathing, and if there is any associated chest indrawing, and if there is any unusual thing, like if the child is very lethargic, not feeding well, having a lot of vomiting, these are the symptoms which you will have to look out for and seek the medical attention immediately. Otherwise, most of them, they can be managed at home itself.
Okay. Sir, when do you think the vaccine is available for kids?
Madam, currently there is a vaccination trial which is happening in India, and as you know, in US, the Pfizer vaccine has been approved for children above 12 years of age. Okay, if we have a good result out means from the current ongoing trials, I hope it should be available very shortly. Say probably in the next 6 to 8 months down the line, we should be having the vaccines available for the children also, if the safety is proven.
Usually it will take more than 10 years to get a vaccine in the market, so it is advisable to take a vaccine for kids even if it is available next year.
It's a good question. See, what has happened is, since many years we have the technology for vaccine preparations. Okay, so there is nothing new technology which has been put into place and it is being tested. So we already have a well proven and a successful vaccination methodology or manufacturing technology. So what has happened because of the need in this pandemic, okay, so the phases has been just fast tracked. So there is nothing has been compromised on the safety part. So there is nothing to worry if at all there is any, like, even if you are, in fact, if people should be happy if you are going to get it in the next 6 to 8 months down the line. So there is no need to worry about the safety of the vaccine.
Okay. So there is another question. Please explain about complications of MIS and C post-COVID.
Okay. So this is a new, the complications which we are seeing in children. Okay. So this is mainly because of the inflammation which happens after the COVID. Okay, the children, they will they recover from the acute infection. After that, the body will develop antibodies against the infection, COVID infection. So these antibodies, instead of fighting the infection, they will enhance the infection, and also that will lead to a hyper reactive inflammation in our body. So that's why it is going to cause a multi-system involvement through these inflammatory mediators and the process of inflammation. That leads to this kind of what we call it as multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. So this causes high-grade fever. Means the fever which had subsided, that will reappear, and the involvement of systems, like there can be rashes, there will be red eyes, there will be the red tongue, and also there can be because of the involvement of the heart, there can be low BP, and all those, like there can be other organs can be affected in this syndrome. So even after the baby recovering from the acute infection, the parents needs to watch out for these symptoms very keenly. That is development of high grade fever again, development of any rashes, red eyes, red tongue, and also if there is any coldness in the limbs. If there is any such thing, they will have to approach the doctors as soon as possible.
Okay. Sir, is there any nozzle spray for children in COVID?
No, there is no any specific nasal sprays which can help this COVID infection in children. Okay, regularly, if there is any stuffy nose, they can use saline nasal drops, which is available in the market to decongest the nose. Apart from that, there is nothing specific for the COVID.
Okay.
Madam, can you excuse me? Just I'm getting a call. Is it possible? I'll just take a
Yes,
call.
yes, yes, yes. Please go ahead, sir.
ಚಾಂದಿನಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ನಾನು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಇತ್ತು, ವೆಬಿನಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್. ನಂದೇ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್. ಹೇಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಹೇಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ನೌ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಹ್ಮ್ 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 Do you want me to come now? ಆಯ್ತು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾ. Madam, ನಾನು here in the this one. As soon as you require me, you just give me a call. I will be there. Thank you. Hello, sorry. Yeah.
Sir, you have any questions?
Madam, I have a request. Actually, I have got a
Yes.
emergency call.
Okay.
So, if we can
Okay, we'll
wind up.
see, sir. I'll wind it up now. So if
I'm sorry.
Ramakant sir
I'm
is
sorry
there,
about that.
that's okay. That's okay. Not an issue, sir. Not an issue. Sir, last and final question. When children have cold, flu, can we give antibiotics along with paracetamol without having COVID test done?
See, in current pandemic, what we would suggest you is, even if it is any mild cough cold, please go and get it confirmed. Okay, before you start treating on yourself or being at home, it is always better to go test at the earliest and confirm, and then proceed and plan the next level of treatment based on it.
Okay. So if children are affected once, how many months will they have the immunity?
See, currently, the whatever the evidences what we have, so the immunity will last only for about 6 months. Okay, so even after that's what, even if you recover from COVID, you will have to continue taking care. Probably you get a good good vaccines and safe vaccines. So till that time, we will have to continue practicing the prescribed preventive measures throughout, and let us not be complacent saying that I have recovered from COVID and nothing is going to happen.
Okay. Fine, sir. So I think you are also on an emergency call now. So
Yeah,
we'll
sorry,
wind up
ma'am.
the session now. Thanks for your time, valuable time, sir. It was wonderful talking to you, and it was so informative. And hope everybody gets help out of this. And once again, I thank Dr. Kiran for giving us his valuable time, and then Mr. Prashant Reddy and Dr. Nargund, Ramakant Nargund, and Mr. Preetham Kumar Agarwal. Thank you, everybody. Sir Ramakant, sir.
Kiran sir, on the other questions, shall I ask?
Yeah, please, sir. Please.
Sir, there are very few questions about that. My question is, during this pandemic, lot of parents, they lost their
Sir, you're not
lot
audible.
of children, they lost their parents. It's really one of this thing. Sir, can't you hear me, sir? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
your voice was breaking, sir. Now it is clear. Please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Please.
Okay. During this pandemic, a lot of kids, they have lost their parents. There is one of the big question in the minds of the children also. And I know that answering this question is also very difficult. But your encouragement to talk will help a lot to the parents also. Number one. Number two is, what was your experience in the BGS hospital, particularly in treating COVID patients? What is the percentage of any failure cases are there? Number one, pre-COVID and post-COVID guidance. Before affecting as a COVID, what guidance you want to give to the parents so that they can take care of their children. Number two, after the effect of the COVID, what precautions has to be taken by the parent? This ending will be more helpful for the parents. Take care of respective children. See that future complications, future problems should not be faced by the parent. This is my few suggestions for you, sir.
Yeah, sir, it's very unfortunate because in second wave, many of the adults in the in the prime of their life, we are losing them, and among them there are parents of children also. It's very sad state to see. So probably this is a time wherein we as a society will have to take an initiative to provide wholehearted support to the children's of these kind of parents who means where they have lost their parents. So all the responsibility is there on the governments and the society as a whole to cater to these children. And in terms of the your question regarding what needs to be done in the means before COVID or after COVID. So it's always in this situation what we have learned and the age-old practices what we had to keep us hygienic, like starting from maintaining distance or the masking up and also maintaining the hand hygiene. These practices along with a good nutrition and also a good positive set of mind, it is more important to overcome any of the adversities which this pandemic is going to bring to us. So we'll have to just follow the recommended measures and continue facing the pandemic with positive attitude. And as you told,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
in our setup, I would like to say, so far we have not had any casualties in kids. So it's really an encouraging thing for us also, and we hope to continue the same thing. And I would means for that I would also appreciate the support that is given extended by our hospital, BGS Gleneagles Global Hospital.
Nice, sir. Nice for your excellent answers and attending particular webinar. Last but least, one more question I want to ask. Any plan, any idea that government is planning, suppose a third wave affects the children, number of beds, number of hospitals, any plans or discussions are on?
Yes, sir. It is already on. Actually, like the government is very keen in about putting all the logistics required, and especially for the kids. So they are very keen and they are already into the process, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Swati Madam and Agarwal Group of Schools, Nargund Group of Schools, and Dr. Kiran, sir. And CTF being very kind enough to develop a certain type of education. And the next, this Saturday also, we are having a next series on diabetes, COVID in diabetes. I mean, even diabetic management. Like this, we are going specialty wise. I request all the participants, please, we'll be sending the link and other things. Kindly understand the difficulties, whomsoever. We should come out of this particular bush. We know that each and every person is well versed. Our immunity is different. We are strong, are mentally strong also. We will come out with the problem. Everything will be normal. Already is coming down. With all these things, I thank you so much for organizing this particular webinar to the school, and wishing you all the best to entire medical fraternity and staff of Agarwal Institution, wherein it is going to help to the children particular segment. Children, ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಲೀಡರ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಇಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಮುಂದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವರು ಅವರೇ. ಅವರು ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Thank you, sir.
Swati
And
madam.
thank you, sir. Participants, I would like to inform you all that sir will be posting, Pritam sir will be posting the webinar minutes to you all. So hope you will be, going through that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pritam sir. Thank you, Nargun sir. Thank you, everybody.